Are we on? Is it people on? Aye. Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here, and I'm coming to you live from Bangor every Friday, 7:30 for the last 2.5 years plus. Probably going on 3 years now. Standing outside this hotel, the guys from Bangor who are preventing attacks in Bangor. Standing here has prevented attacks in Bangor without a doubt. A deterrent, deterrent, top class guys, an amazing job. So I hope you are all good. As you know, I haven't done. Did I do a live last night? No, I never. Didn't do a live last night. I put out the Tony Mallon video because I'd had enough. Just had enough. I woke up in the morning, grumpy head on, and I thought I'm dealing with this once and for all. So yeah, that's out of the way. I'm not going to touch it again. I'm not going to touch him again. He's irrelevant, and it's very sad it had to come to that. You know what I mean? But you know, it's been a really good day. We got one of the boys over from England, and yeah, we like Patriots are moving back and forth quite a lot nowadays. And yeah, we took him around the Shangle, East Belfast. He's met all the toys, as we do. You know, I've told you this before. This is another guy. And then we've got our own John Rankin coming over at the end of the month. And we've got Foxy Lad with us. And we've got Wazza with us. And we've got Right to Be Right with us. And we've got the amazing, most beautiful Caitlin behind the camera. So, guys, yes. So, yes, we're live. We're live. Yeah. We're the biggest show in Northern Ireland. Freedom Dad 73 on YouTube, Freedom Dad FD on Facebook, and Freedom Dad. There's 3 TikToks. You can have whatever you want. I just enjoy making TikToks and letting them grow. You know what I mean? I'm not one of these guys that want to grow TikToks and make them massive, so I make loads of money. I like to build a TikTok, see it hit over 10,000, and then I like to do another one. You know, so I've got 3. I think I've got one at 10,000, one at 8,000, and I'm playing about with this new one. We're just about are we over 1,000 on the new one? I think we are, aren't we? 1.5 or something like that. I think we're 1,500 on the new one. That's only been going for 3 or 4 weeks, and it's just getting used to doing these things so I can help other people do it, find out the niches and the cliches and the algorithms and how it actually works. Because we're Generation X. But like I tell everybody, social media has been made for children. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, it's all been made for kids. It's not for adults. It's been made with children in mind, teenagers and all the rest of it. So it is easy to use, you know what I mean? You just play about with it. You take your time. You Google each step as you go. If you want to learn how to put words on something, letters on something, then just Google it. There's YouTube that'll take you step by step. But, you know, like I say, I hope you've been watching No Risk, No Reward because he's been bringing out some really relevant stuff right now. And there's been a lot going on. I am going to go live tonight when I get home. This isn't going to be a long live, guys, because I'm just saying hello, telling you that we're here. I'm here, there, and I'm everywhere, as you know. We only just got back from Belfast an hour ago. Just managed to get I got ribs the day, right? Ribs, right? And they were chopped up in the wee bits. Yeah. What's that about? I've never had ribs chopped up in wee bits ever in my life. Caitlin? No, it was up here. Bangor? Yeah, Bangor. Ruby? Oh, yeah. Why would you... No. I'm not going to say anymore because I've already said the name of the Chinese, but I was going to say, like, you know, the only reason you would chop real ribs up is because maybe they're not real ribs, or you know what I mean? I don't know, but they were that size. I've never had ribs in my... Have you ever had ribs? You ever had ribs that have been chopped up in the wee bits? No. Yeah, wee tiny things. I nearly choked on them. Yeah, that's hard. Yeah. Aye. Baby ribs, is that what they are? Maybe I asked for the wrong thing. Maybe they wrote the wrong order down. But yeah, guys, like I say, we're in second gear, and I can tell you something now. Like the guys involved in everything. I'm not going to mention their names, but you know who they all are. All the guys around me. When we're out and about, you do not understand the love that we're getting. People stopping cars, people getting out of cars, people coming up days everywhere we go. You know what I mean? And it's absolutely amazing. And you know, it's down to the work that these guys done, and it's down to the work that Pinky's done is the reason why he's gone through all he's gone through. It's not because he's far right. It's not because he's racist. There is no far right in racism. These guys aren't far right in racism. There's nothing I do that's far right in racist. Mass immigration is a problem. We've got 800,000 children affected by sexual crimes by foreigners coming into England. That's fact, right? We've got 50 grooming gangs up and down the breadth of England by Pakistani Muslim men. That's fact. You just need to look at the stats. That's who they've let into England. That's who they're letting into Ireland. They're not getting into Northern Ireland. So they're not. They're not getting in. We don't want them here because we know what the damage them do. And it's not about there's some are good, some are bad. Yeah, we know that. You tell us who the good ones are and who the bad ones are, and then we'll go with that quite happily. If you can find a way of taking teeth, DNA, or lie detector tests to tell us which ones are going to harm our children and women and which ones aren't, then fair enough. But if you don't know who these men are, no documentation, no ID, making up their own names, we don't even know how old they are. We've had men in schools. We have had men in schools because they've came in and said, I'm 15. We've had guys with moustaches claiming to be children. This is how pathetic and stupid and traitorous our government truly are. If they cannot tell the difference between a man and a boy, how are they meant to tell the difference between a genuine refugee and a predator? You know? So, this is where we're at. We're telling everybody that the patriots, that Northern Ireland, Catholics and Protestants, because this isn't about Protestants, this is Catholics and Protestants. Please believe me, I'm the content creator. I get the messages. I get the comments. My community is Protestants and Catholics. Okay. Yes, I'm a Protestant. Yes, I'm an ex-lawless prisoner, but they don't care. Same as when I'm down in Southern Ireland. Nobody cares about that. That's in the past. That's the 80s and the 90s. We've moved on. We're in a different era and we're coming together as patriots more and more every day. Please believe me, guys. This is growing. This is growing like ivy up the side of your house, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. And, at the end of the day, it is difficult for the Catholics, but because of the Sinn Féin and all the rest of it, and the Alliance Party and the SDLP all working in unison to bring in foreigners and the Palestinian and the Gaza carry on, you know what I mean? And, the Catholics in these areas have had enough. They're shouting Sinn Féin out. Sinn Féin out. I stood in front of 50,000 Irishmen, an ex-lawless prisoner, outside the post office in Dublin while they all shouted Sinn Féin out. When would you ever hear or think that would ever happen in our lifetimes? Sinn Féin traitors, or Shame Féin is what they're called. Shame Féin. This is the new era in Northern Ireland, and we all need to understand that there's big changes happening in Northern Ireland because of what's going on in England and what's going on in Ireland. And the people in Northern Ireland are not dumb. We are clever prods. We are clever Catholics. We have been through conflict. We've dealt with the intelligence service. We've been dealing with these clowns for the last I don't know how long with their nonsense, with collusion and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? So we know how things go. We know how to mobilise. We know how to network. We know how to bring people together. And the people will come together in Northern Ireland, Protestants and Catholics, when needs must. You're not seeing it now. There's Catholics over there. There's Catholics around me. There's Catholics in the EBFD. There's Catholics that go to Chimney Corner. There's Catholics. You've seen the tricolour and the red-handed ulsters last year in the City Hall. This is unprecedented. This has never been seen before. You're watching history being made on Freedom Dad's channel. And that's not a cliche, guys, because there's nobody else bringing it to you. Most people are scared to even talk about these kind of issues, but these issues are right in front of our faces, and it's time we all started talking about it. The division between religion is gone. There's no religion and patriotism, and Protestants and Catholics need to come together to at least communicate. I'm not saying we need to go out for a drink. I'm not saying we need to be best mates, I'm not saying we need to forget our history, our dead, our fallen, or any of our memorabilia. All I'm saying is we need to communicate. That's all. We just need to communicate so we're on the same page. Just like we did in the jails, Loyalist and Republican prisoners communicated in the jails. That's what we need to do now. Now, it was explained to me the other day, a guy called, I'm going to give him a big shout out, Connor. Big shout out to you, mate. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to sitting down and getting a good chat with you. And Falls Road, man. And he was telling me that the way it works is it's 70% of society in Northern Ireland are up for Protestants and Catholics coming together. 30% aren't. 50% Republicans, 15% Protestants, Loyalists aren't prepared to come together under any circumstances or any conditions, even with what we face coming with mass immigration, irregular, illegal, or whatever you want to call it. But as we go forward, as I've been saying for the last year, these numbers are going to get smaller and smaller. The people, the bigots, the people that want to carry on the troubles in Northern Ireland are going to be left out in the cold. They're going to be left. It's like a snowball melting in the sun. That's how I describe it. It's the same with the left wing, the far left. They're diminishing. They're getting smaller and smaller. Slowly, people are waking up and going, looking at hope, not hate, end racism, and all that. And they're like, "These are mental. LGBTQ standing next to Palestinians. Are you mental? Doesn't even make any sense to anybody. You know, it doesn't make any sense to nobody. Even the government are laughing at these characters standing together in solidarity with Islam, with Hamas, with Islamic terrorists. When these people in their own countries throw these type of people off roofs because they're homosexual. You can't make it up. It's absolute madness. But slowly and surely, people are waking up. This is the thing. And Northern Ireland's had the biggest awakening, but everybody else is waking up. Ireland's wakening up. England's wakening up. You know, like I say, guys, patience is one thing we need, but time is not what we've got. This is what I've got to tell you. It's all right having no patience and sitting in the house and going, somebody else will sort it out. It's all good. There's no way. It'll be civil war. There's no civil war. By the time you realise it'll be too late, by the time you realise there will be too many here, they will be voting for the people that brought them into the country. In 30, 40 years' time, you can take this to the bank, we will have Muslims in power. In 30 years' time, there will be more Pakistani Muslims in Parliament as we see today. Members of British Parliament with dual citizenship, their heart isn't completely in this country. Half their heart is in Pakistan, and they're in Parliament running our country. Now, you may say, oh, these guys are coming in and they're getting citizenship and they're British. You know, I hear all the time, Belfast man caught with child pornography. What's Belfast? What's his name? Abdul Muhammad. Abdul Muhammad is not a Belfast man. He might have a British passport, but he'll never be a Belfast man. There'll never be Irishmen. There'll never be Scottishmen. There'll never be Welshmen. Our traitorous government can give them citizenship and they can give them passports, but they're in this country by a traitorous government who's failing the people of Great Britain and Ireland. Both governments controlled by the deep state, the WEF, the WHO, and George Soros. Everybody's aware of that now. We're aware of the Fabian Society. Everybody's completely aware of the Fabian Society and the far left rhetoric that's in our schools, in our universities, in our social work, in our hospitals, everywhere. It's even in the police force. It's even in everywhere. Every aspect of life that you rely on and social policies in your life has been infiltrated by a far left mentality who will put others, minorities, before the locals. You know, and we don't even need to talk about Muslims or foreigners or nothing like that. We just need to look at like the LGBTQ, right? It's a minority group in our country. There's more heterosexual men and women than there is homosexual men and women. Okay, there's no two ways about that. And that's just facts. And I've got nothing. No, like, please don't think that I've got no problems with people like that, homosexuals or anything else. What I'm trying to say to you is they are a minority. Okay, they are a minority. So why do we have people such a minority having? How did they get a week? I'm just keeping an eye on the police here. I don't know what they're up to. Uh, how do they get a week? Is it Pride? What do you call it? Pride Week? Is it Pride Week? Anybody? Is it Pride Week? Pride Week, is that what it is? Do they call it Pride Week or something like that, isn't it? Yeah. Right, so our veterans get an hour and the LGBTQ team, they get a week. Now, listen, I'm not knocking them. I've got nothing against them, but it just doesn't make any sense. And, you know, for people that don't like homosexuals, it just gives them ammunition, you know. And I do believe that just like, what? A month? Fuck off. A month. Fucking hell, man. Right, so they get a month. Why? Somebody tell me why. You know, doesn't make any sense, does it? You know, it doesn't make any sense. So you can see that's one example. And then we've got diversity and foreigners coming in the guise of diversity. Diversity is great, you know. And all I've got to say about that is ask the people in Rotherham, ask the people in Luton, ask the people in Rochdale, ask the people in Birmingham, ask the people in Halifax, ask the people in London, is diversity good? Ask the Londoners, ask the locals. You won't be able to go there to ask them because they're not there anymore because they've actually moved out somewhere else. That's replacement, you know. And for those that don't believe in replacement, just get off your arses. 30 quid in the boat, 70 quid return into Liverpool and travel about and have a look at these towns. Have a look at Great Britain. Have a look at the mighty England, you know. and then understand that that is what's coming here. If you think that's happening over there and not coming here, you're mental. With the government that we have right now, Sinn Féin in power, Alliance and SDLP, and the way they behave, you see what's happening to Patriots. You can't even ask them questions. I'm scared to interview a foreigner, and I'm being genuine, hand on my heart. I am scared to even ask a foreigner a question anymore, because if he turns around and says he feels that I've been racist, I will be remanded for that. Now, this is what's happening to the men in Northern Ireland who are trying to defend what we've got and to stop what's coming. They're being remanded, and then they're being put out on bail and given really serious bail conditions. And it's to stop them going online, to stop them coming to demos, stop them networking and learning and passing on information, because that's what we do. That's what Patriots do. We network, we learn from each other, we learn from the English, we learn from the Irish, and that's why I travel about. That's why I go to Dublin. That's why I risked everything by going down there, because I had to. The only thing I can stand here today and tell you exactly what's going on in Ireland with a hand on my heart, that it's being destroyed. The men or women are devastated. Dublin is unrecognisable. Is because I've been down there. It's not second class information or hearsay. It's from the horse's mouth. Okay, it's very, very serious, guys. And unless you get up and go out and look, then the government are going to keep telling you that diversity is great. The Freedom Dad's racist. Don't listen to Freedom Dad. He's just a racist thug. He's a bank robber. And that's the problem. This is the problem. This is what they done in England 15 years ago. So we're going to take that all day long. You can write paper stuff about me all day long. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter, because I know it's coming. I know this. I've made videos about it 6 months ago saying that this would happen. So everything that I've said has come to fruition. So what does that tell you? It tells you that I know exactly what I'm doing, exactly where we're going, and how this is all going to end. And I can guarantee you this is not going to end with the replacement of Ulster men and women, neither Protestant nor Catholic. So I want to give a shout out to Richard, because this is Richard's gig. Richard's been doing this for a long time. The men standing on the road, like I say, have been doing this for a very long time. This is one of the longest protests in Great Britain, without a doubt. I don't think there's a hotel protest that's been going on. This was the first one, I do believe, you know what I mean? And it is what it is. We've always been ahead of the game. Thanks to Richard being involved with Tommy Robinson and the Tommy Robinson team, and living in Northern Ireland. Would we be so much ahead? I don't think so. I'm only came here. I'm only been doing this. I only just came back home. What, 5 months, is it? 5 months. Richard's been here a lot longer doing this. You know what I mean? But things are changing. Truth Podcast, Johnny, he's been doing this a long time as well. CJ, he's not right wing or anything like that or anything to do with immigration, but he does keep an eye on the PSNI. I like that. Keep an eye on the PSNI. He'll need to use that. I'm going to have to say to him. I need to. Well, I should trademark it, shouldn't I? I should trademark it. What is it? Copyright it. Oh, he'll be shouting that out in this next live, man. You know what I mean? Big shout out to CJ. Yep. Foxy lad was looking for you. What happened with you and CJ? Are you looking for CJ, Damien? You text him and you never text back. CJ, come on now. You know what I mean? He's one of the troops, man. You looking to see who he's on? Do you want to come and say a few words? Come on, mate. So where have you been?
What do you mean? Been working away?
Yeah.
What's?
Do you want? I've got an arm, mate. Give me a stick out in there.
So who's all in the night?
Yeah.
What's happening? We bit. John Cahill, John Rankin, Lady J, Ursher. What's happening? Foxy's taking over Bangor tonight. You. What they saying? What's everyone saying?
John Rankin said me.
Foxy in. What's
Bradford Loyal. Big up Foxy Loyal.
Bradford Loyal? What's happening, kid?
We bit said hiya. Mr. Blonde.
Oh, I Mr. Blonde.
Big up Bro, John Rankin says he owes me 100.
What?
He owes me 150 quid for yeah. You already know.
He's fucking 12 years old. £40. How do I look 12 for fuck's sake? I mean, I'll take it as a compliment, like, but I don't look that young. You know what I mean? Fucking hell.
Um, oh, that's okay. No.
I big up everyone anyway for tuning in. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, peeps.
Sure. Lock up, leave it bunkers, lock up your daughters.
Oh, aye. Where's all the single ladies tonight? We're hitting Bangor tonight. Pub crawl.
Oh, is that music then? Has it?
I don't want to say anything anymore. You say something. No, no.
Boxing out there at the same front of the camera. John Regan says. He's camera shy, well, letting on to be. No, no chips tonight. Don't have a clue if the winter's open. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think he's coming now. Leave it, God's sake. Can I draw that?
They can hear you when you whisper. You got the mic right next to you.
Hold it down the cat the whole time.
So what was right? So what have you left me with?
Nothing, just who was in.
When have we got in?
178.
Well, sure, that's good numbers.
Only 89 people liked it.
Oh, only 89 people. 178 people and only 89 people liked it. That's because it's like it's half and half of lovers and haters in it. Yeah, you know what I mean? What's that, mate? Yeah, aye, that's a good point, mate. So, what do you think, guys? Do you think the Palestinian protest is going to stop now? They're going to release the hostages. What do you think these guys are going to get up to now every Saturday? Because I know. What do you think? I know exactly what they're going to get up to. So when the Palestinian argument goes away, right? You know, and Gaza, the Hamas terrorists agree to hand the the hostages over. But then again, there's a good chance that Trump could just flatten the place anyway. You know what I mean? You know, but at the end of the day, guys, this is what's going to happen. The people that are out supporting Palestine will then start coming out. When if they don't have that argument, they're going to be out shouting about the Irish language. That's where it's going to go. They're going to be out complaining and shouting about everything that is going to drive peace. Anything that I'm doing, they're going to do the opposite. Just like kneecap, you know. And this is the tactics of Sinn Féin / IRA with the help of Alliance and the SDLP is to drive division. You know, when we talk about the Irish language, like I was talking to Connor the day and or the other day, and he was giving me advice. He was like, you know, he was criticizing me, and this is what I always ask: if you're out and about and you see me and you're not happy about something, come up and tell me, because it's not having to go at me. You're just criticizing me. You're just telling me, Freedom Dad. This is what I was told, right? He says, Freedom Dad, you're losing the Catholic support. And I was like, why? I'm doing everything I can to bring Protestants and Catholics together. He goes, when you're going on about how hard the Protestants are getting, the two-tier and all the rest of it, you got to remember that we couldn't vote at one time. And you know what? He had a very good point. Very, very good point. And I don't mean to come across like, oh, pure us. It's not about pure us. I understand the struggle that's happened in this country. I understand exactly. I know everything. Going right back to the famine, to 1916, to the start of the Troubles. Okay, totally get it. Yeah, and I was only a child. I hadn't anything to do about that. There was nothing I could do about that. But there's something I can do about it now. We can talk about it, and we can understand that there's grievances and there was things done that should never have happened. And I'm be the first man to agree about that. Okay, um, there's a lot bigger players in play than the people of Northern Ireland, the citizens, the civilians who are involved in the troubles that get brought up into it and brought into that terrorism side of it with the power multis on both sides. And, you know, the British government were very, very, we call it the dirty war. People call it the dirty war, you know. And, this is the point I'm going to make, guys. When I'm talking about the two tier, it's not I'm not talking about the two tier between Protestants and Catholics, even though I did mention that carry on with the memorabilia. Right? I'm just trying to point the fact out that it's not about the two tier, it's more about the discrimination of Glenn himself, of that person, because he's an easy target. And the main thing what I'm trying to say is it's not gonna just be us, it's gonna be yous as well. You know, once Sinn Féin don't need yous anymore and they've got the foreigners to vote for them, it's going to be across the board. If Islam does come into this country like it has in England, there's going to be mosques. You're going to be offended. There's going to be fear of offending these guys. You're going to see lots of two tier in work where they're going to get jobs that they don't deserve because people are afraid to say no. They're going to get priority in hospitals and hospital appointments because people are afraid to say no. And they're going to get away with a lot more with social work and their children, as we've seen in Leeds when the police went to try and get the children out of that house. They destroyed the place. The Muslims destroyed the place. They set a bus on fire. The police left that area without them children because they were scared to offend Islam. And, it will come to your door eventually. But the unfortunate thing is, you're not going to be answering that door. It's going to be your children and your grandchildren answering that door. And, I'm not going to be here for anybody to go, freedom, dad, you were right. I'm not, I'm not getting nothing out of this. There's nobody going to be saying in 20 or 30 years' time, maybe they might be lucky. Maybe one day they'll say they may be lucky your dad got it bang on. And, and the only way people are really going to know that I was being truthful and honest and factual. Huh? Yeah, you open your eyes, watch yourself, mate. The only way people are going to find that out is if it goes the way I think it's going to go. Now, if we stop it, then everything I've done is irrelevant. People aren't going to look back and go, "Oh, freedom, dad, okay, said this and said that," because there won't be a problem. We won't be looking back, going, "What went wrong? How did nobody stand up? Why did our ancestors not fight first for this?" There must be people in England right now that are were maybe 5 years old when this all started, or now in their 20s, 25, looking back and thinking, "How did my parents allow this to happen? How did Bradford and Rotherham and Rochdale and Leeds and Birmingham and London become like this today?" And it's quite simple. Everybody was silenced. My message to them children would be, your parents were silenced. They were taken offline. They were put in prison. They were called far right. They were called racist. There was headlines put in the Sunday papers about them. People turned against them because they believed the papers and they thought they were far right. They thought they were racist, so they never paid any attention to what they were saying. They never came and joined the movement that they were trying to build. And today, that's why England is the way it is. And again, that's why Northern Ireland won't be like England is, because we know the tactics of the left. We know the tactics of the people at the top who are controlling the governments. So yeah, guys, I'm just going to keep on telling you, people in Northern Ireland, do not fear. The Patriots are here, and that's not a cliche now. That's not a pun. This is facts. We have hundreds of thousands of men and women that I call the sleeping giants. Please believe me. Just because you only see small numbers out here and you only see small numbers in other places, there's a good reason for it. just because of the same reason back in the day with the far right racist thing. They don't want to be seen. They work in certain places, you know, social circles that they walk in. They don't want to have to argue and go on, and they don't have the arguments. Not many people have the arguments. Not many people can say how many children have been affected by mass immigration. Not many people can talk about Pakistani grooming gangs. Not many people know how bad it's actually gone and how cities have been replaced in England. So it's difficult for people to argue when they say, I'm not happy with mass immigration, and their friends and family go, you must be a racist, or you listen to that Freedom Dad. So it's difficult for people at individual levels to defend their opinions and defend their rights to protest against what a genuine fear that they see coming. And all I can say to them people is, you are the sleeping giants. When the time comes, you will arise, like the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in Northern Ireland. It just takes one incident in this country and this place will go up. I keep telling you this, and I know exactly how it will go up, you know. And that's just the way the world is, you know. Um, we don't want it. We don't want a Southport, you know. We don't want a Manchester Arena, you know what I mean. We don't want the 7-7 in London, you know what I mean. Because this is where we'll go. This is where we'll end up eventually. Because as soon as we start kicking back, they're going to start kicking back even harder. And the unfortunate thing is, these aren't Mickey Mouse terrorists. These are the real McCoy. These terrorists make our terrorists look like Mickey Mouse. These guys are taking terrorism to another level. I know things that would fucking break your heart. Things that I could never tell you that these men have done to our children in England. Horrific crimes, never heard of. And I mean, I've never heard of men doing this to children. It's fucking brutal. And this is why you don't know about it. But all I'm going to say to you, if you do want to know what kind of actions these men take towards children that aren't of their own religion, research the grooming gang manuscripts that come from the judge, everything that everything that comes from that trial. Now, there's only 2 been released. You might find it hard to find them. You know, like I say, you've got to do a lot of digging sometimes to get some stuff out, and that's for a reason. But you know, I'm going to leave you with this because I'm going to go live when I get in. To the people of Northern Ireland, we will not stop. There's more men than me in the background. If I get taken down, there's 100 men coming after me. You know, please believe me. They think they're on top of it. They think they've got the best MI5 and intelligence service in the world. Well, we've been doing this for the last 40, 50 years. Back then, it was different than it is now, but it's the same concept. But the thing is, we don't worry too much because we're not doing nothing illegal, you know. Our worries are people that are causing problems for Freedom Dad and other people putting in mixes and talking about stuff that's totally irrelevant to what's going on in this country and what's coming and the threat to our children. You know, I'm just a citizen journalist, nothing more, nothing less. I'm not interested in getting involved in anybody's doings or what they're getting up to, and you know, everybody's got their own stuff to do. You know what I mean? And I'm quite happy with that. But some people just doesn't want to leave Freedom Dad alone for some reason. And but as we go forward, the longer we go forward, the longer these people keep behaving the way they're behaving, then they're going to stand out like sore thumbs. There's no 2 ways about it. And you know, Northern Ireland is getting quite a lot of refugees, immigrants in right now. We're trying to work out at the minute what's going on. There is things in the pipeline that we're trying to find out. We're getting information from all sorts of places, and we are working and investigating exactly how these people are coming in, how many people are going through the Chimney Corner Hotel, how many people are coming out of it, like a system, where they're going. And yeah, we're going to be looking at the shops, how these shops are popping up in our areas where there's no footfall at all. Doesn't make any sense. There's people watching things. There's a lot of citizen journalists doing a lot of investigating right now, which I'm just wanting you to know it is non-stop. It really is non-stop. And there is a lot more than Freedom Dad at work here. Please believe me. I'm just a man in the camera. I'm just the face, the voice. But I know everything and everyone that's in the patriot world. And I can tell you there's a lot of people working a lot harder than Freedom Dad. And to the people of England and the mainland, we will do everything we can to help you, whether that's by voting or whether that's whatever way we can, we will do what we can to help you. To the people of Ireland, I know Sinn Féin are trying to, because of the Good Friday Agreement, we are dual citizenship. I can have an Irish passport or a British passport. So what Sinn Féin are trying to bring out is to use the people in Northern Ireland with the dual citizenship that have an Irish passport to vote in Southern Ireland, you know. So I want the Southern Irish guys to know, the Patriots, if Sinn Féin do that, you will have us, Patriots, both Protestants and Catholics, will use our Irish passports and we will vote for your politicians. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take saving our children and taking our land back. Our land isn't gone just yet, but you know, yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, everybody's on the same page, and as we go forward, more people are awakening, more people understand what's going on, and I don't know how these guys are going to cope with it. I don't know how the government's going to cope with it. I've told the politicians they're on notice. They're on notice. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the only solution. You know, these are guys around me. This is like Protestants, and I don't know any Protestants around me right now that aren't saying we need to come together. You're Catholic. There you go. You know, we got a niece that's wanting his 3 children face to face. How do you feel about me being an ex-loyalist prisoner? Doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. Yeah. No, I'm not here to harm anybody, mate. I'm here to save our children, you know what I mean? Save our future, save our traditions, all our traditions. And so there you go. Here we are in Northern Ireland with Protestants and Catholics, just chewing the beef and seeing no difference in each other. And that terrifies the government. You know, I'm going to finish with this as well, guys. You know, the tricolour and the red-handed Ulsters came together, I don't know how many times now, between Belfast City Hall, Tommy Robinson demos, and quite a lot of places. Freedom Dad's been in Dublin with the Irish, them knowing who I am, and we are all rubbing shoulders together. But not one single reporter from mainstream media, either in England, in Ireland, or Northern Ireland, have mentioned that. Does that not make you think, wow? We're in a country that's been divided for so many years, bickering and fighting and killing each other for the last 50, 60 years. Yeah, I grew up hating Catholics. Catholics grew up hating Protestants. And look at us now, and silence. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, we've all been there. We've all had that hatred. We've all had that bitterness, but no, it's no longer. No, it's gone. And you're hearing it from Freedom Dad. You're hearing it from Truth Podcast. You're hearing it from Richard Emmon. You're hearing it from the Citizen Journalist. You're hearing it from Pinky. You know, Pinky has loads of Catholic friends around him. You know, East Belfast, the East Belfast First Division, the guys that do the walks, Protestants and Catholics, in loyalist East Belfast. Nothing from nothing. All you get from the papers is bad Pinky, bad Freedom Dad, bad East Belfast, bad vigilantes. I mean, racists, thugs, bank robbers, hunters. You know, nothing about the unity. One of the biggest news. This is the biggest news that we've ever had. This is the biggest news in Britain. Out of the conflict, the amount of thousands and thousands have died, both innocents, civilians, security services, and loyalists and Republicans on both sides. Thousands of people have died. This has been a big problem that nobody could solve, and all of a sudden we're solving it ourselves. And silence. I'll leave you with that, guys. I'm Freedom Dad outside the Marina Court Hotel that are holding people who have come into this country illegally. You're probably going to get citizenship and given a passport. But please believe me, to them in there, you are not here legally. The government that has let you in is a traitorous government. They do not represent the people, and they are not doing the work of the people. They are destroying our country, and we will be asking for you to leave when the time comes. I'm Freedom Dad, and God bless.